magandang buntag, good afternoon, good evening, or should I say, a pleasant evening to everyone. I am 𝐬𝐰𝐢𝐬𝐧𝐠, one of the reporters for this video. So our topic is all about phonology. So let's learn something new. So before that, let's proceed to the next slide. So Linguistic 101, branches of linguistics. So there's have three or more than three branches of linguistics. So we have here the morphology, syntax, and phonology. But this time around, our topic will be around phonology, because phonology is one of the important or one of the crucial parts of our topic. So let's begin our introduction. Communication is the fundamental aspect of human interactions, of how they change their ideas, emotions, and informations between one another or individuals. So in the realm of linguistics, the study of communications branches in various fields, such as morphology, syntax, grammatics, and so much more. But this time, let me introduce you one of the branches of linguistics, which is the phonology. So phonology delves into systematic organizations of sounds, are structured, used, and perceived within a perspective of linguistic system. Alright, so now let's proceed to our objectives here. So we have three objectives. So first is we have to understand what phonology is and its role of phonology in the language. Second is to explore how phonology helps us identify and organize the speech of sounds in different languages. And lastly, but not the least, is to learn how phonology affects pronunciations and meaning in communications. So therefore, we are going to delve of how we pronounce, how we articulate the word, and how we deliver the word to each another to have an effective communications. Alright, so now let's proceed to the next slide. So the next slide is about the phonology. So phonology is basically the study of the organizations and functions of the sounds or the speech of sounds in a particular language or languages. In other words, phonology is the scientific study of sounds, of how they are being delivered or how we deliver our ideas using our vocal tract or vocal organs. So now let's proceed to the next slide. Right, so now we have here the phonetics. So again, it's phonetics, okay? Alright, so what is phonetics? Phonetics is the study of physical properties of speech sounds, including their productions, acoustic properties, and perceptions. So basically, it focuses on the productions, transmissions, and reception of the speech of sounds. Therefore, phonetics deals with the articulations of the sounds, of how they are physically produced by our vocal tract. So vocal tract, these are the organs that is responsible of producing the sounds, such as our mouth, our tongue. So that is example of vocal tract. Alright, so now let's proceed to why do we need to study phonetics. Alright, so again, why do we need to study the phonetics? Anyone? Anyone from the class? Alright, so phonetics is basically help us understand the sounds of language in a more concrete and detailed manner. but providing insight into the weaknesses or the mechanics of speech productions and the perceptions. So basically, phonetics is really crucial, which is mean important, much more, how much more the phonology. So about phonology, let's delve into phonology. So here are some of the importance of phonology. Alright, so phonology, one of the important here is language learning. Therefore, we all know that each of us individuals have our own language, and this language is learned by us. It depends of us of how we learn it. Alright, second is linguistic research. So basically, when you are a linguist, you need to research some of the idea about our language. Third is speech therapy. So some of people don't know how to speak. Some of people don't have any languages. That's why it is basically help us to know what language we are in. So basically, some of those people who do not speak in different language or cannot speak a language, basically they go on to speech therapy so that they can speak or they can speak. No? So fourth is we have to have the reading and the spelling. So reading, it is very important, very crucial. So when you're reading, you need to comprehend as well. It is not just about reading the word itself, but how we comprehend the word, how we understand the word. So spelling. So basically, some of you, I know that don't know really, or you don't have any much knowledge about spelling. So basically, language help us, or phonology help us how to do the spelling. And lastly but not the least is the technological application one. So here's some of the importance of phonology. So again, these are the most important of phonology. So therefore, studying phonology is really important because it helps us understand how sound functions within a language system by analyzing the patterns and rules governing the sounds in a language. So phonology provides insights into how sound convey meaning and how they are being used in a communications. Because basically, if you are going to communicate, you need to be understood by your audience. You need to speak clear to the audience in order for you to understand you. Because again, when you pronounce or mispronounce the word self, the whole sentence will be misunderstood by your audience. They cannot relate because you have a wrong pronunciation, you have a wrong articulations, you have a wrong delivery of the sounds. So it is basically really crucial for us. Alright, that's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am 𝐬𝐰𝐢𝐬𝐡 and today I will be discussing the importance and the relationship between phonology and phonetics. Phonology is the study of sounds or structure of sounds across languages. And according to research, there are 6,000 known languages across the world and it has different sound systems. On the other hand, phonetics is the study of physical qualities of sound speech or the correct articulation of a certain sound. Now, for you to dig deeper about this certain topic or the branch under linguistic, which is phonology and phonetics, I want you to look at this example. Can you hand me a pen or can you hand me a pin? So without the spelling associated, you might be actually confused of what is an exactly thing I am referring to. It's either an ink pen or a safety pen. And as what we have observed from the example, the word pin and pen has a vowels, and if the vowels is being followed by the end consonants, then we are giving these the same pronunciation. Another example of this for you to dig deeper, in English language or in English dialect, we can't have LP in the beginning of words. However, we can have PL in the beginning of words. For example, play and plug. Play and plug. Now, for you to better understand, the key differences of phonology and phonetics is phonology deals with the structure of sounds across languages, while phonetics deals with the correct articulation of words through the sounds. So now we have identified the importance and the functions of phonology and phonetics, and it aims to promote lifelong learning and quality communication towards others.
Hello everyone! My name is Dale G. Paris, and I am one of the few reporters that will be talking in this video today. You guys were already briefed by Miss Ellie and Julito on what we're going to be tackling in this video, right? Obviously, we're going to tackle and delve deeper within the realms of phonology. Yes, you heard it right. Phonology, the systematic study of sounds. And phonology actually has a lot of subtopics, and one of them is phonemics, and I will be discussing it during this part of the video. I hope you guys will actually listen attentively with our video because we want you guys to learn something new. So, phonemics is a branch of linguistics that studies phonemes, focusing on how these distinct units of sound function within a particular language. So, phonemics is actually the science of sound. Phonemics is the study of how sounds are organized and used in a language. It's like understanding the musical notes that make up a melody. Each language has its own sets of sounds and phonemics helps us understand how those sounds work together. So phonemes are actually the smallest unit of sound that can distinguish meaning in a word. For example, the sounds P and B and pat and bat. When we say pat, sometimes we mean it as an action. Pat someone's head, pat someone's back, or pat a dog perhaps. And when we say bat, we could refer it to an object. Look there, a baseball bat. Look there, a baseball bat. Or it could be an animal. Look there, there's a bat in a cave. Look there, there's a bat in a cave. That's phonemes. Without phonemes, you can't actually distinguish a meaning of a word from each other if they sound similar, like pat and bat. That's the importance of knowing what phonemes is. So now let's move on to allophones. So allophones is actually a variation of a single phoneme that occur in different contexts but do not change the meaning of a word, like the different pronunciations of the T sound in top and stop. Let me give you more examples for you to comprehensively understand what allophones is because it's actually a bit confusing. So as I've said earlier, allophones is a variation of a phoneme that do not change the meaning of a word. For instance, the aspirated P in pin and the aspirated P in spin are allophones of the phoneme letter P, and the nasalized A in a man and the non-nasalized A in cat are allophones of the phoneme A. I hope you guys understand that because we will now discuss what aspirated and aspirated is when you pronounce a word. An aspirated sound is produced with a puff of air released after the sound, like the letter P in pen. Pin, pin, which has a noticeable burst of air following it. Look at my mouth when I say pin, pin, pin. There's air coming out, right? Obviously, air comes out when you talk, but look at the difference when I say the word spin, spin, spin. That's what an unaspirated sound sounds like. It's produced without a puff of air, like spin, spin, spin. I'll give you guys more examples. Another example is the phoneme letter T, the T sound. The T is aspirated. A small puff of air is released when you say the word top, top, top. See, a small puff of air. And it's unaspirated when you say the word stop, stop, stop. See, stop, stop. There is no puff of air. Another word is button, button. The T sound is a glottal stop. The sound is made by briefly stopping the airflow in by the throat. Button, 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 button. Another one is the phoneme letter P, the P sound, the pin, pin, pin. It's aspirated and releasing air. And spin, spin, spin. I am not releasing air. And the letter cup, the word cup as well. The P is unreleased. The sound is cut off abruptly. Cup, 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 cup. You guys notice changes in the sounds? Cup, cup, spin, spin, pin, pin. There are actually very small changes, but if you listen very attentively, then you'll get what I am trying to convey. Also the L sound. Light, light. The I is a clear or light. I is produced with the tongue matching the roof of the mouth. Light, light, light. Our tongue rests at the top of our mouth or the roof of our mouth. Another one is bottle, bottle. The I is syllabic. When we say syllabic, it forms a syllable on its own. Bottle, bottle, bottle. Okay, so those are for the examples. So these variations in pronunciation do not change the meaning of the words, which is why they are considered allophones. Allophones do not change the meaning of the word even if they sound alike. But when we say they sound alike only by a letter in a word. That's all for allophones.
Hello, my name is Benshar Arpolino and today I will be tackling about articulation. So, articulation refers to the physical process of producing speech sounds. Articulation requires the coordinated movements of our mouth, lips, tongue, teeth, and vocal cords to form a clear and recognizable sound. Articulation is vital or important for us to be able to express words or speech clearly and effectively. For example, to produce an S sound, can you say the S sound with me? S, S, S. As you can see, the tongue is positioned near at the roof of our mouth, but without touching it, allowing the air to pass through a narrow gap. What you mean by narrow gap? Meaning not very wide or not very broad, creating the S sound. Like in the word snake. Snake. Can you say the word snake with me? Snake. 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 The S sound is placed to the roof of our mouth, but our tongue is not touching it. Pronunciation is how a word or language is spoken, encompassing the correct sound, the stress or how we emphasize the word, and intonation patterns. Pronunciation refers to how we convey or we speak the sounds of words accurately. This includes pronouncing each sound correctly, emphasizing the syllables or words, and using the right tone and rhythm for us to communicate effectively. Proper pronunciation ensures that our speech is clear, effective, and accurate. For example, the word photograph, photograph, photograph. If you pronounce it correctly, it's photograph, photograph. with the stress or the emphasis on the word on the first syllable, which is the fo, fo. If someone mispronounce it, they might say photograph, 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 which is incorrect, emphasizing the second syllable instead, which can confuse to the listeners and they find it ineffective. This shows how pronunciation is important or crucial to communication, including proper stress or the emphasizing of the sounds and ensuring a clear and effective communication. Articulation versus pronunciation. So if you are confused or you are wondering what is the differences to both concepts, so basically articulation refers to the physical productions of sounds while pronunciation is the way the sounds are used in speech. Articulation is the physical process of producing speech sounds. It involves the physical components of or the movements and coordination of our mouth, our tongue, our lips, our teeth, and vocal cords to shape sounds. This is how we physically form the individual sounds, which is the consonants and vowels that make up words. Now, on the other hand, the pronunciation is how we articulate words so that we can comprehend correctly with others. It involves producing the right sounds, tones, and emphasizing the syllables properly. So, assimilation refers to when a sound becomes similar to a neighboring sound. Assimilation occurs when a sound in a word changes to become more similar to a neighboring sound, making the pronunciation more smoother and faster. These changes happens because the sounds influences each other, which leads to an easier and more fluid transition between them. It often makes the speaking more efficient. Assimilation can happen in different ways, such as progressive, where a sound influences that follows it, regressive, where a sound affects to the one before it, or reciprocal, where two sounds influences each other. For example, when you say the word input, 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 when spoken quickly, the N sound before the P sound changes to the sound more like M sound. So input might sound like input, input. This happens because the and the P sound are similar, and the N sound adjusts to blend better with the P sound. Deletion is the process of dropping or eliding specific sounds. Deletion refers to the process in which specific sounds are omitted or left out during a speech. This phenomenon is common across languages and can occur in various contexts to make the pronunciation more easier and more fluid. For example, the word camera. People often pronounce at is camera in casual speech, excluding the middle E sound, which is the camera, of course. This process helps make the speech more faster and more efficient to deliver when speaking. Dissimilation is the deletion of the first similar phoneme or the initial phoneme of the adjoining words. Dissimilation is a process where a sound in a word changes to become less similar to a neighboring sound to avoid awkward or repetitive patterns in speech. These changes makes the pronunciation more smoother and more natural. For example, the word February is pronounced as February without the first R or the R sound. The R sound is dropped to avoid the repetition of the similar R sounds. These adjustments help the word to help us to say it easier and more precise. Aphiresis is the deletion of the vowel sound at the beginning of the word. Aphiresis is the process of dropping or eliding the beginning of a word. This typically happens to make the word easier to say or to fit more smoothly into a speech. It modifies the word by removing its first part. For example, the word bout, which is shortened form of about. In this case, the vowel A sound at the beginning of the word is excluded, meaning it's removed, making the word easier and faster to pronounce. Syncope. Syncope is the internal of or the middle deletion of a vowel sound. Syncope refers to the deletion of a vowel sound within the middle part of a word. This internal deletion can occur in informal speech or as a part of the natural evolution of language. For example, the word family is often pronounced as family, with the middle I is dropped or it is excluded. This makes the word quicker to say and more fluid in conversation. Apocope is the deletion of the final vowel sound. Apocope refers to the process of dropping the end of a word. This often occurs to simplify the pronunciation or to speed up the speech. It changes the word by removing its final part. For example, the word demo, which is shortened form of demonstration. The final part of the word is dropped or removed to make it quicker and easier to say, or in short, it makes us shorten for us to comprehend. That's all.
Hello everyone, I am 𝐬𝐰𝐢𝐬𝐡 and I'm going to discuss about the weakening or lineation. In linguistics, lineation is a sound that alters consonants, making them weaker in some way. The word lineation itself means softening or weakening. In other terms, lineation or weakening refers to the change in the pronunciation of certain sounds, resulting in consonants that are softer or less pronounced. For example, the sound P may transform into B, making it easier to express. This phenomenon typically occurs in specific situations, such as when a word is spoken quickly or appears at the end of a sentence. Lineation contributes to a smoother flow of speech and can lend a more informal tone. Letters within a word may disperse entirely or become significantly softer. This process can differ greatly dialects and can also affect the spelling of the over time. So I'm going to give you an example of weakening or lineation. So, for example, the word butter may be pronounced like more butter, where that letter T sounds become softer or even disappears. Here the letter T is weakened or limited. Insertion or parenthesis. This is a linguistic term that refers to the addition of an extra sound within a word. It often happens to make pronunciation easier or to fit certain patterns in language. Also, this is when an extra sound is added to a word to help it flow better when we speak it. This process helps with pronunciation and is common in various languages and dialects. It's a natural part of how we communicate. So, I'm going to give you an example. So, the word athlete, the L sound is inserted between the T and the E to make the word easier to pronounce. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Chamela and today I'll be discussing with you my assigned topics in phonology. So the first one is lengthening. So lengthening in phonetics refers to making a sound longer than usual. It can happen with vowels or consonants and it often changes the meaning of a word. In some languages, vowel or consonant length can distinguish words. So for an example, in Italy, the word fatto or faith has a short A or A sound, while fatto or means fact has a long T sound or T. The difference in length changes the meaning of the word, as you can see or as you can heard. So another topic, metathesis. So metathesis is the process of switching the order of sounds in a word. This can happen naturally over time in languages or in casual speech. So for an example, in English, a common metathesis is when people say ax instead of as. The sound S or S and K or K are swapped. Another historical example is the word bird, which used to be breed in Old English. Over time, the R and I switch places. So, in short, lengthening changes the duration of a sound, while metathesis changes the order of a sound in a word.
Good day everyone, I am Joyce and Baguio, one of 8 discussants for today, and I will be discussing about phonation and nasalization. So, phonation, the process of producing vocal sounds by the vibration of the vocal folds. So, phonation, it refers to the production and adherence of speech sounds, also known as voicing. It involves vibration of the vocal cord to produce sounds like vowels and certain consonants. Like for example, is the a, e, I, o, are all produced through phonation. So, phonation, it occurs when the air is carried into the lungs, then the air passes through the glottis and the larynx. So, moving on to nasalization. Nasalization, the addition of a nasal quality to a sound, typically by lowering the volume to allow air to escape through the nose. So, nasalization, on the other hand, is a process in which the air stream passes through the nose. As a result of lowering the speech sound, it occurs when the sound is expelled partly through the nose and mouth, such as the sound of an N, M, and Mostly this is our consonant. So as you can hear or observe, it's through the nose and mouth. And that's all for my topic now. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am back again. I already introduced myself earlier, but again, I'm gonna say my first name. I am Kirk. So for today, I will be tackling another topic under our video, which is the vowels and consonants. So vowels and consonants and the characteristics in classification. Vowels are produced with an open vocal tract, while consonants involve some degree of closure or obstruction. Vowels and consonants are the foundation of speech. Vowels and consonants are the fundamental building blocks of spoken language. They are distinguished by their unique characteristics and methods of production. Okay, so vowels has open sounds. Vowels are produced with an open mouth and a free airflow, creating an open sound. And also our tongue position. Vowels are classified based on the position of our tongue in the mouth. High or low, front or back. For example, E and C, and C is a high front vowel. High front vowel. E, C, my mouth is at the roof of my mouth and at the front, or my tongue, I mean. E, while father is a low back vowel. Father. If you guys will try to pronounce the word father, you can actually notice that your tongue goes at the back of your mouth and at the bottom of your tongue, or at the bottom of your mouth. Father. Consonants has obstructed sounds. Consonants are produced with some obstruction of airflow, releasing in a more closed sound. The place and manner of our articulation. Consonants are classified by where in the mouth the sound is made, usually the place of articulation, our mouth, and how the airflow is obstructed, our vocal cords, and the manner of articulation. For example, the letter T is made by stopping the airflow at the front of the mouth, while S is made by forcing air through the narrow passage. S, T. So when these are working together, vowels and consonants work together to create the diverse sounds of language. For example, the word cat combines the consonant C and the vowels A and T to form a distinct recognizable sound. Cat. Understanding the characteristics of vowels and consonants is essential for learning and speaking any language. By recognizing these fundamental sounds, we can improve our pronunciation, comprehension, and overall fluency. That will be all for vowels and consonants. I hope you guys understood something. Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's me again. My name is Joyce. Let's discuss about suprasegmental features. Suprasegmental features definition and importance. Features such as stress, tone, and intonation that go beyond the individual sounds. Suprasegmental features is all about the aspect of speech that go beyond or conveying meaning that extends beyond the individual words, sounds, or phonemes. What are the suprasegmental features? Suprasegmental features are also known as prosodic features, and they include stress, which is the emphasis placed on a certain syllables or words in an utterance. The next is the tone, which is the pitch or melody of speech, which can change the meaning of words or phrases. The next is the intonation, the rise and fall of pitch when speaking, which can convey attitude, emotion, or emphasis. The next is the rhythm, the pattern of stress and unstressed syllables in speech, which can create a sense of musicality or rhythm. The last one is the juncture, the way words are connected or separated in speech, which can affect the meaning of an utterance. Record as a noun and record as a verb. So we know that the record as a noun refers to physical object containing information or data, while record as a verb is the act of documenting or capturing something. Looking how the examples have the same word although they have a different meaning because of stress patterns. A discussion on record as a noun and record as a verb is a great example of how stress patterns can affect the meaning of a word. When record is used a noun, it has a different stress pattern. When it is used as a verb, and they have a different stress pattern. So why are suprasegmental features important? So suprasegmental features is crucial for effective communication. In spoken language, it can help listeners to understand the meaning of words and phrases and to avoid miscommunication.
So guys, I'm going to discuss the purpose and methods of transcription. So transcription is used to visually represent speech sound using symbols, often from the International Phonetic Alphabet or known as IPA. So if you don't know what is IPA, it was made around 1800s by British and French teachers or language teachers to teach students their pronunciation. So guys, as you can see here at the chart, this is the IPA, but I will not further discuss this because it's a long topic, but I will give a example. So if you don't know, for example, phonetics. So this is the pronunciation of phonetics in terms of the IPA. So phonetics. So for another example is dog. So dog, dog. Okay, so that's it. This is the transcription for the purpose and methods of transcription. Thank you.